Recently, discussions within the MMA community have heated up around a potential clash between Ilia Topuria and Islam Makhachev, a matchup that many believe could be one of the biggest fights the UFC can book today. While this bout is not currently scheduled, the idea of El Matador stepping into the octagon against the reigning lightweight kingpin has sparked excitement and debate among fighters, analysts, and fans alike. Ilia Topuria has been making waves with his dominant performances and powerful finishing ability. His confidence in taking on Makhachev comes at a time when Islam has not tasted defeat in almost a decade, cementing his reputation as one of the most dominant fighters in the world. Still, some believe that Topuria's unique blend of explosive striking and resilience could be the formula to finally challenge the Dagestani champion. MMA contender Merab Dvalishvili recently shared his perspective on this potential fight. According to him, while the matchup would undoubtedly be tough for Topuria, he truly believes Ilia has the tools to finish Makhachev. Merab explained that if the fight does happen, it would come down to two major dynamics: wrestling versus striking. He suggested that Ilia could successfully defend against Islam's world-class wrestling attempts, forcing the champion into a striking battle. And when it comes to striking, few can deny Topuria's dangerous knockout power and relentless forward pressure. It won't be easy, Merab admitted, but Ilia has a real chance. If Islam is forced to stand and trade, Ilia's power makes him a serious threat. Beyond the technical matchup, the fight carries massive implications. If Makhachev decides to move up in weight and potentially capture the welterweight title, Topuria has already expressed interest in chasing him for a third championship belt. Such a fight could redefine legacy in the UFC, potentially crowning the first fighter in modern history to dominate across multiple divisions simultaneously. However, Topuria has made it equally clear that if Makhachev loses his belt, he would not grant him an immediate opportunity at the lightweight championship upon returning to the division. This shows that Ilia is focused on legacy-defining fights rather than giving Makhachev a quick path back to contention. In the end, the question remains, if these two warriors meet inside the octagon, who emerges victorious, Makhachev's grappling dominance or Topuria's knockout power? One thing is certain, this clash would be nothing short of historic. Move on to another news. Khamzat Chimaev's long-awaited return to the octagon has become the subject of heated debate, as new claims suggest that the undefeated star may not be as close to competing as he recently indicated. While Chimaev himself hinted that he would be willing to defend the UFC middleweight title in October at the highly anticipated Abu Dhabi card, not everyone is buying into that timeline. Reinier de Ridder's management team, particularly his representative Ali Abdelaziz, has offered a conflicting perspective. Speaking to Submission Radio this week, Abdelaziz made it clear that if Chimaev truly intended to fight in October, the opponent would almost certainly have been de Ridder. Instead, Abdelaziz revealed that the UFC had already been in talks with Chimaev, and the Chechen-born contender made it clear that he plans to return next year, not in October. That shift in timing left de Ridder with a decision to make. Rather than wait on Chimaev's uncertain schedule, the former one championship title holder chose to move forward with his career. Now he is set to face the dangerous Anthony "Fluffy" Hernandez, a fight that many see as a pivotal moment for de Ridder's transition into the UFC. Abdelaziz praised his fighter's decision, noting that he didn't want de Ridder to waste more time after already losing critical years waiting in one championship. Abdelaziz also highlighted what makes de Ridder such a dangerous opponent. He pointed to the Dutch fighter's elite grappling, size, and versatility, particularly his use of knees, as major assets that could trouble Hernandez. However, he was careful to acknowledge Hernandez's own strengths, noting that Fluffy is highly skilled, relentless, and capable of producing a fan-friendly war. According to Abdelaziz, this matchup is not only a crucial test for de Ridder, but also one that promises to deliver excitement for the fans. The UFC middleweight picture could get even more interesting depending on the outcome of other upcoming bouts. Abdelaziz noted that if Nassourdine Imavov manages to defeat rising contender Caio Borralho next month, the race for the #1 contender spot might come down to which fighter delivers the more impressive performance. For now, the bigger question lingers: is Chimaev truly ready for an October return in Abu Dhabi, or is his camp pushing his comeback into the following year? The uncertainty has already created tension in the division, and fans are left wondering when the board's hype train will officially roll again. Move on to another news. Islam Makhachev has officially received a warning ahead of his highly anticipated UFC 322 showdown with Jack Della Maddalena. Following Dana White's big announcement confirming the fight, JDM's coach, Ben Vickers, appeared on Submission Radio and had some strong words for the reigning lightweight champion. Vickers made it clear that he believes Islam's durability could be the deciding factor in this matchup. According to him, Makhachev does not possess the same level of toughness and ability to absorb damage that Belal Muhammad has previously shown. He stressed that if Jack lands clean, the fight could be over in an instant. If Jack clips someone clean on the chin, they can go over, Vickers said. It doesn't matter if it's the very first minute of the fight or the final seconds of the 25th minute, Jack has the power to finish anyone at any point. This confidence stems not only from JDM's knockout power but also from his exceptional conditioning. Vickers pointed out that in Maddalena's fight against Belal Muhammad, a fighter widely recognized for his relentless pace and world-class cardio, Jack outlasted him. By the later rounds, Belal appeared more fatigued than Maddalena, showcasing the Australian contender's endurance as a serious weapon inside the cage. Jack likes long fights, Vickers continued. He thrives in them, but make no mistake, we're not in there to work overtime. If the opportunity comes early, we'll take it. Jack has phenomenal cardio, explosive power, and the ability to push through all 5 rounds if needed. This upcoming fight is shaping up to be a classic striker versus grappler clash. While Makhachev is widely regarded as the most dominant wrestler in the UFC today, JDM's striking arsenal and stamina make him one of the most dangerous opponents Islam has ever faced. The question now is whether Islam's grappling and control will neutralize Maddalena's knockout power, or if JDM will find that one clean shot to shock the MMA world. Fans are already buzzing with speculation. Could Jack Della Maddalena hand Makhachev his first defeat as champion with a knockout, or will Islam prove once again why he is considered Khabib Nurmagomedov's heir, grinding his way to another dominant victory? Only time will tell, but one thing is certain, UFC 322 just got a lot more exciting. Move on to another news. UFC President Dana White has officially confirmed one of the most historic and unprecedented announcements in the sport's history. The UFC White House card is officially happening. In a recent live stream, Dana shared details of his trip to Washington, D.C., where he met with representatives at the White House to finalize discussions regarding the groundbreaking event. According to Dana, the meeting could not have gone better, and he is now in full planning mode to bring this extraordinary spectacle to life. Dana began by expressing his excitement over how successful the White House meeting turned out to be. "Had a great day. Just about to take off here from Washington, D.C., we had the meeting at the White House, and it could not have gone better," he revealed with a sense of pride. He continued by confirming what many fans had been speculating for weeks. "This is going to be awesome. The White House fight is on." This announcement instantly sent shockwaves across the MMA world, as no one could have imagined a UFC card being staged with the direct involvement of the White House. While Dana did not reveal the full details about which fighters will compete or the official date, he made it clear that the plans are solidified and that the UFC is ready to deliver something fans have never seen before. He promised more updates in the coming weeks as the logistics and matchups are finalized. For Dana, this move is not just about promoting another fight card, it's about making history. Hosting a UFC event connected to the White House elevates the sport to a level of mainstream recognition it has never reached before. It represents the merging of professional combat sports with one of the most powerful political institutions in the world. Fans are already speculating which fighters could headline such a monumental card. Names like Sean Strickland, who Dana briefly mentioned in the stream, are expected to play a major role. Strickland has become one of the most talked about fighters in recent years due to his controversial personality and ability to draw attention both inside and outside the octagon. As the anticipation builds, one thing is certain, Dana White has once again proven his ability to break barriers and push the UFC into uncharted territory. The White House card could become one of the most iconic moments in the history of mixed martial arts. Move on to another news. Merab Dvalishvili is once again making headlines, not just for his dominance inside the octagon, but for his fiery comments outside of it. Just weeks before his highly anticipated title defense, the Georgian bantamweight has reignited a rivalry that continues to linger in the minds of MMA fans worldwide. Speaking about his previous clash with Umar Nurmagomedov, Merab did not hold back. He openly admitted that the hype surrounding Umar, fueled largely by his legendary cousin Khabib Nurmagomedov, made their fight deeply personal. According to Merab, the respect he expected going into that matchup wasn't there, and that disrespect has left a lasting impression. Reflecting on their first meeting, Merab acknowledged that Umar was one of the only fighters who pushed him to his limits during his championship reign. While Merab ultimately secured the victory, he admitted that Umar tested him in ways few opponents ever have. Despite that, Merab insists that the fight was not his best performance. He revealed that he had been struggling with several injuries leading up to the bout, including a severe back issue and an infection in his leg. Training camp was brutal, and he felt physically compromised going into the octagon. Yet even with those setbacks, Merab managed to win decisively, and now, with more experience, better health, and improved skills, he believes a rematch would look entirely different. This time, he promises there would be no mercy. In his own words, if they ever meet again inside the cage, he will destroy Umar Nurmagomedov, leaving no doubt about who the better fighter truly is. But before such a rematch can even be considered, Merab's focus is firmly set on his next challenge. Corey Sandhagen. The two are scheduled to meet in just a few weeks, and the MMA community is already buzzing with anticipation. The fight is being described as high stakes, explosive, and one of the most intriguing matchups of the year. Should Merab get past Sandhagen, the road ahead likely leads to a title defense against the winner of Umar Nurmagomedov versus Mario Bautista, a fight that was officially announced today. For fans, the storyline practically writes itself. Umar remains the one fighter who gave Merab a truly competitive battle during his dominant streak. That unfinished business, combined with Merab's vow to leave no doubt in a rematch, sets the stage for one of the most compelling rivalries in the bantamweight division today. Move on to another news. Rampage Jackson. The 25-year-old son of former UFC champion Quinton Rampage Jackson has found himself at the center of major controversy after being arrested in Los Angeles. According to Louisiana First News, Jackson has been charged with felony assault following a violent incident that unfolded during a live-streamed wrestling event on August 23rd. The shocking altercation took place when Jackson unexpectedly entered the wrestling ring and attacked professional wrestler Stuart "Psycho Stu" Smith. Witnesses reported that Jackson struck Smith repeatedly while he was already down, leaving the U.S. Army veteran seriously injured. Smith was quickly taken to the hospital, where he was listed in stable but serious condition. The disturbing scene, captured on video, rapidly went viral, sparking outrage across both the wrestling and MMA communities. The Los Angeles Police Department moved quickly, taking Jackson into custody soon after the footage surfaced online. If convicted, Jackson could face up to 4 years in prison, making this one of the most serious scandals involving a fighter's family member in recent memory. The incident has also cast a spotlight on the wrestling promotion itself, with critics questioning the lack of proper safety measures that allowed such a situation to escalate in front of a live audience. Reactions from the combat sports world have been mixed. UFC middleweight Sean Strickland commented that Jackson may need rehabilitation rather than punishment, suggesting that deeper personal issues might have led to the outburst. Meanwhile, veterans like Matt Brown emphasized accountability, stressing that violent actions should have real consequences regardless of family ties or personal struggles. Paul Felder and Michael Bisping also weighed in during a post-fight analysis show, offering insight into Jackson's behavior. Felder suggested that the young man might be battling inner demons, noting that the incident seemed to stem from something deeper and darker than just a heated moment inside the ring. He argued that the pressures of streaming, peer influence, and unresolved personal issues might have contributed to Jackson's explosive actions. Bisping echoed similar concerns, expressing disappointment while also showing empathy for Rampage Jackson, a respected figure in the MMA world who now faces public scrutiny through his son's actions. Aljamain Sterling also reacted, highlighting the severity of the assault. He noted that Smith endured a flurry of unanswered punches from someone who clearly knew how to throw ground-and-pound strikes, making the situation even more dangerous. As the legal process unfolds, all eyes remain on Rampage Jackson, the wrestling promotion, and the broader implications for athlete safety and accountability. Former UFC and Strikeforce middleweight champion Luke Rockhold has made it clear that his fighting journey has shifted away from MMA for good. Despite his decorated history in the sport, Rockhold recently confirmed that he has little to no interest in returning to the cage. Instead, the 40-year-old veteran is preparing for a new challenge in the boxing ring, where he is scheduled to face fellow UFC alum Darren Till on August 30th at a Misfits boxing event. Rockhold's career since parting ways with the UFC in 2022 has been an adventurous one. He stepped into bare-knuckle competition under BKFC, where his fight against Mike Perry ended painfully after losing a few teeth, prompting him to call it quits mid-fight. Shortly after, Rockhold rebounded in Karate Combat, securing an impressive TKO victory over Joe Schilling. These ventures highlighted both his resilience and adaptability as a fighter, but they also signaled his departure from MMA as a long-term pursuit. Speaking with MMA Fighting ahead of his boxing debut, Rockhold was asked about the possibility of ever returning to MMA. His response was straightforward: the chances are extremely slim. Financial stability and personal fulfillment seem to be the driving forces behind his decision. "I don't have to do anything," Rockhold explained. "I do well. I've got good investments. I've got money. I'm not rich by any means, but I'm comfortable. Life is about taking chances, but it's also about choosing wisely. Why would I go back to MMA unless there's a massive opportunity, big money, big titles, real implications?" For Rockhold, the fight against Darren Till represents an opportunity to test himself in a new arena while keeping his competitive spirit alive. A win over Till could open doors to high-profile boxing matches, potentially offering lucrative paydays without the wear and tear that comes with MMA. Addressing his brief association with the now-collapsed GFL promotion, Rockhold revealed that his decision to sign was largely financial. "I was getting paid," he admitted. "Nice monthly paychecks kept me motivated and in shape, but I knew it wasn't sustainable. You're talking about seven-figure paydays for fighters who weren't even UFC champions. That model was never going to last." Ultimately, Rockhold's future lies in boxing, where he hopes to extend his career on his own terms. With his experience, striking skill, and determination, the upcoming clash with Darren Till could very well define the next chapter of his legacy.